and gentlemen, welcome to Wrestling Art with Chris Things.
Ray! Do the hammerlock! I do the hammerlock! Ray! Do the hammerlock, you turkey necks! Yeah, do the hammerlock! I do the
Hammerlock! Everybody's doing it. Hello friends, welcome to Wrestling Art with Chris Things. I am Chris Things Brian, your host, your wrestling art dude, your pal, and I'm here this week with a very fun edition of the show. This past Monday we had a latest edition of our wrestling club event that I do at the Scratch, where I play a bunch of my favourite weird and wonderful wrestling for a bar full of people. We all have a fun little time, and then I come on here once a month and I try to make a podcast out of it. So we will be being joined in a little bit by my dear pal, friend of the show, Bradley, who was there on the night that was, for us to do a bit of a playlist debrief. We'll run through for you guys everything that was played on the night that was, as well as our thoughts on the different bits and pieces. I'll hopefully have maybe some little audio excerpts of some of the stuff that we played from the night that was, but I think it'll be a fun little deal. I always really like these episodes, so I hope you guys get a kick out of it as well. Yeah, I'll try to keep this a little bit brief because it always takes a bit of a while to go through this playlist. I sometimes think, am I putting too much together, for these nights? I'm often a more is more kind of person. Definitely a maximalist kind of vibe, but I mean, that being said, there is a lot of stuff where I'm just like, I'd love to include this, but we can't. But anyway, is what it is. I hope you guys are having a wonderful week as we get close to the Christmas festive holiday period. Start to hopefully wind down work a little bit. I've kind of got that last mad dash to try to get everything done with my line of work. Now that at least I guess we've got the in-person event side of things finished up for the most part of, actually for the year, I believe we've got through all of them. Now I get to turn around and just purely focus on, the stuff that I normally do through my week, like this podcast and like a match of the week illustration, but also the commission work that I get to do. And, I make mention about this on the podcast every now and then. I love doing it. I take it as such a compliment when people come to me and say, hey, we want to pay you money to make us a pretty picture. And I take that very seriously. And I really, really love doing it. I love being able to bring people's ideas to life. If anyone out there, has an idea they want to bring to life into the, 2026 period, I would love to do that for you. But yeah, I've been having a real lot of fun working on some commission stuff with people, but it has got to that bit where I'm trying to get a certain amount of things done and out for people who might have a Christmas deadline. So I really love getting to do this stuff for people as like a Christmas gift, for a wrestling obsessed weirdo who might be in your life. So I've been doing that. So it did get a little bit on the stressful side, just trying to make sure I got everything done in time. I'm working on another piece right now that I'm pretty stoked on. But we keep chugging along with this thing. It is a weird thing where I officially now have gotten through the last in-person event of the year. This has become like a pretty big part of my life, the traveling wrestling art carny side of things. But yeah, man, you make it work. I have to go back and see how many events I did this past year. I feel like it's probably going to be a lot. But I do very much enjoy them. But yeah, getting to the pointy end of the year, I'm sort of reflecting, and it's like I think we've done some cool things this year. I'm proud of some of the stuff we've accomplished. I'll probably do more of an official, year wrap-up thing in the future, but for now, I just want to say a big old thank you to everyone that's made those in-person events that I did this year. Such an amazing time. Everyone who supported, everyone who had me for commission stuff throughout the year, and to you guys, of course, for listening to the podcast. And liking the stuff on Instagram and sharing and all that kind of stuff. It's a lovely time. I didn't want to ramble on too much with this little intro monologue of mine for you guys, but I did want to acknowledge before we get into it, this night coming up that was the last ever wrestling club of the year. Was marked by it being a bit later in the year, getting a bit closer to Christmas, and being a Monday night that close to Christmas resulted in it being a bit more quiet than usual. So I was so absolutely grateful that Brad came along. My gosh, but to be honest, there were a few people there earlier on, but as the night went on, definitely got a bit more on the quiet side. I would like to say a thank you to everyone who did make it along, but yeah, it was a bit where I had to kind of face myself and be a little bit of put a lot into this playlist, and then it feels in a way sort of like the tree falling in the woods and no one being there to watch it kind of deal. But then I had to bring myself back, I had to be like, hey dude, it's that time of year, it's fine. You have enjoyed putting this playlist together, and I did. I really did enjoy putting this weird Christmas playlist together. It was a joy to do. I got to then spend some great time, with my dear friend Brad. So thank you again, Brad, for for making this wrestling club. I definitely don't think I would have had quite as much fun if you weren't there, my friend. But yeah, I was actually really, really, in the end, after I thought about it, happy that, obviously I was going to do it no matter what. There wasn't any part where I looked around and said, oh, it's not busy enough, I better take this thing home. But no, it was one of those things where you have to kind of look and assess and be like, what am I doing this for? And at the end of the day, I think it's for the love of the thing. And that's what I'm looking forward to, hoping to share with you guys on this episode of the podcast, to be able to go through this playlist that was, and talk with Brad about all the fun, different, weird elements of it, and hopefully you guys get a little bit of a kick out of it as well. I'm going to try to do something where I can maybe make this playlist accessible online for some people in a bit more thorough manner too. So if you would like the playlist, if you would like me to send you a drive link, please let me know, because I would love for you guys out there to be able to experience it properly as best you can, even though you might not be in Brisbane and nearby the Scratch. Anyway, alright, I think that's about it for today. Let's get ready for some Wrestling Club at the Scratch.
Why don't people understand my intention?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it is time. It is time for the Wrestling Club. Woo! Our final Wrestling Club of the year. I'm very enthused about this. What did I call it? Season's Beatings. And before I go any further, I need to acknowledge the absence of our perfect attendance Wrestling Club member who made it here to every single one of these until the 16th event. Joe is in Melbourne right now with his lovely partner, Georgia, but I wanted to say hi, Joe, and you're sorely missed for tonight, but we're going to have a lovely evening. I hope everyone's ready for a bunch of Christmas wrestling nostalgia. We'll have a little bit of trivia at the halfway point. But yeah, let's jump into it. Wrestling Club, everybody!
Yeah!
Electricity will make it weird science. Fantasy and microchips shooting from the hip. Something different.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly, la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, la 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel, la 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 la.
Buzz Sawyer, we've heard about the big match later this month. What do you think about it?
I think you better not pout, you better not cry, you better watch out, I'm telling you why. 'Cause Santa Claus is coming to town.
Now he's making a list, checking it twice. See who's been naughty or nice. Santa Claus is coming to town.
He knows when you've been sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good. So you better be good for goodness sake.
You'd better not pout, you'd better not cry, you'd better watch out, I'm telling you why. 'Cause Santa Claus is coming to town!
Prophetic words indeed from three great wrestlers. And this Friday night, in fact, we'll see the greatest of them in this very, very special, no holds barred Christmas Eve reindeer elimination special. That's right, this match is totally unsanctioned, and frankly, I've never seen anything like it before in the squared circle.
Mankind, moments from now, inside this boiler room, you're being forced to take on Santa Claus in a boiler room brawl. Now, I know what Santa means to you. I mean, I read the book, Santa Villages, the visits with the family. I mean, you can't be too happy about this.
Well, I'm not happy at all about this. My kids love that guy. Christmas is a few days away. I love Santa Claus. Now, tell me, what am I supposed to do to prove what a tough guy I am? Do I slap him in his cheeks that are like roses? Do I kick him in his dimples so merry? Or better yet, do I put a big boot to his nose, which is just like a cherry? Does that make me a tough guy? Better yet, maybe Mankind, the king of the boiler room, should give him a big knee to his little round belly and watch it shake like a bowl full of jelly. Would that finally make me look like a tough guy? You answer me, Michael Cole, because I really don't know. Am I supposed to take this match? Am I supposed to... Hey, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Hey, I think you must feel goofy from Bradshaw's Chair Shot, because I'm having an interview with Santa Claus right now. I don't really need the posse hanging around.
The Gophers for Triple H and Stephanie, the Main Street Posse, pulling Mankind. They're in the boiler room.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're back a couple of days removed from our most recent Wrestling Club event at the Scratch, and I'm delighted for us to be joined by one of our most preeminent and loyal Wrestling Club members, Bradley, brand new to the debrief concept. I'm happy to have you on the show, my friend.
Thank you, Christopher. Yeah, woo. We're applauding me right now. Is that? Okay. I assume so.
Yes. Yeah, man. Stoked to have you on. We, as we mentioned on the night of the event, we do need to acknowledge the sad absence of our former perfect attendance Wrestling Club member show. But in his absence, others get to step up. So. Thought none other than my dear friend Brad to join me for us to chop it up over the playlist that was.
I'm glad to be able to chop it up, and also glad to be slowly getting to reach Joe's numbers. Like, obviously now he's not perfect attendance, but he's still all bar one. And I think I've only missed maybe 3, so all I got to do is sabotage.
Yeah, you've been pretty amazing over 16 events to have made all of them, but 2 or 3. Pretty great record, I must say.
Yeah, and I think that was just it's because you changed nights. It was Thursday night, and I'm like, no, I got stuff on Thursday night, so I couldn't do it. It's my D&D night. But But yeah, so now I just got to sabotage Joe a couple more times, and I'll catch up, and I'm good.
Yeah, maybe like cut his brake lines or something.
That's a bit harsher than I was going to go, but sure.
Oh man, yeah, no, I was so sad that Joe's Christmas plans meant that his incredible record came to an end. But so much thanks to Joe out there, if you're listening, for that incredible loyalty there. And can't wait to have you back for next year. But yeah, man, like it was an interesting evening. Our last one of the year. We do need to acknowledge it. It was definitely a bit more on the quiet side than usual, being on a Monday this close to Christmas. But I still had fun.
Yeah, no, it was a good time. Yeah, definitely quieter though. But I think it was like, not only was it like Wrestling Club was quieter, like we're obviously missing Joe and a couple of other regulars, but just like the scratch bar in general was very quiet, just because obviously this time of year everyone's got lots of other plans happening at once. So it's so yeah, bit quieter, but it just made the Christmas emanating from our screen sort of all the more important.
I'd like to think so. I mean, weirdly, I think I probably paid attention to what was playing on the screen more, maybe even more so than usual, because of just like kind of like that being where all the attention ended up. But yeah, so that's what we're doing. We celebrated the Christmas thing throughout the evening. That was kind of my concept. I wanted to try to like, you know, bring back some of my favorite Christmas wrestling memories and maybe show some Christmas wrestling weirdness that people might not have had seen before. But off the top of your head, was there much of that was new to you on the evening?
Oh yeah, most of it. Most of what you put on at Wrestling Club was new to me, except for like the occasional like, oh, this is a classic ROH match. I'm like, okay, I've probably seen the classic ROH matches, but other than that, it's usually all new.
Well, lovely. So we started out the night that was this Wrestling Club event number 16, Seasons Beatings. I recycled that old tagline that I'm sure has been used for a bunch of different wrestling shows over the years. But we started out with what may be the greatest pro wrestling Christmas promo ever from Georgia Championship Wrestling, of all of the baby faces singing Merry Christmas to us. And this just made me so happy to start it off.
I'm going to lose track, so you'll have to remind me as we go along which bit was which bit. Was that the bit where they're all in the ring singing straight to camera? And
yes.
And our...
hosted by the glorious Gordon Soley. He was definitely in there singing along. We also had the masked Mr. Wrestling. Just delightful. With all the baby faces doing their best.
That was what they were doing, yeah. Some of them seemed a bit less comfortable sort of singing straight at camera. Some were putting like their all into it. It was like, yeah, into this Christmas. Mr. Wrestling was as well. I was like, behind that mask, I can still feel the Christmas joy. But some guys are just like, they're feeling very uncomfortable to have to sing. It's like, this is not what we're normally paid for.
I mean, I would have to think this is probably a little bit out of the ordinary for most of the Georgia Championship Wrestling roster. But I'm just delighted that we got it. And also, as I mentioned to you all the night, absolutely stoked that that there were no heels here. We had a clear respect for wrestling logic here, and of course the bad guys were nowhere to be seen. This was an exclusively good guy Christmas carol.
Yeah, heels don't celebrate Christmas. It's just clearly a known wrestling fact.
Bar humbug. All right, so then we got back to a bit more of a Wrestling Club kickoff. We went to some All Japan Women from March 18th of 1992. We got Bull Nakano versus Akira Hokuto in a match that I very much enjoyed.
Yeah, it was a strong start to the evening. Having the Joshi wrestling is always it's a Wrestling Club staple, but it's always a great way to start the night. You see some of that brutality early on.
Oh yeah, I can't remember if it was you or mentioned to someone else, but this was the one where we're starting to get to a point, especially with these Joshi matches, that I really have to put a lot of effort in to make sure that we're not repeating ourselves from prior events. Because I when I went through this, I was like, part of this felt somewhat similar, but I think that's because in the past we had a great Akira Hokuto Aja Kong match from kind of this period or a little bit prior. And we also had a real good Bull Nakano versus Kyoko Inoue match from a similar period. So kind of similar dynamics with the kind of David versus Goliath thing. But dang, if this wasn't still so good.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, but I also sort of, as you are unsure which matches you played, I'm just like, I can't remember clearly which one was which necessarily. But you know, it's I know that I enjoyed them and they were always a good time. So it was again, yeah, get that hard hitting, especially the hard hitting like against Hokuto, sort of just being so small compared to Bull and sort of just getting flung around and belted. And the finish on that match where she goes for like a counter by like pushing herself off the ropes and Bull just sort of dumps her on her head and that's the finish. It's like, I'm not even sure if that's Bull's finishing move or anything. It's just, but you know, you dump someone on their head when they've gone to like, yeah, there wasn't anything else that could happen.
Right, it was so good because we saw Hokuto give Bull the after a series of sort of like these rad German suplexes with the bridge that she just couldn't quite hold the bridge. So then she was just like, you know what? It's time for the Hokuto driver, the Northern Lights bomb, and she sure as heck got her up for that one and drove her like right down on her head. Really great near fall there that I was kind of expecting would be the finish, so they got me on that one. And then we had this great actual finish bit where Bull then like picks her up, and Hokuto tries to get out of it by like kind of springing her legs on the rope, so you think she's going to counter it, and then Bull's just like no, and just kind of gives her like this elevated, almost like scorpion death drop, just like right on the back of her head from almost a straight vertical position. It was some nasty business, but man, great finish.
Yeah, very, very some unexpected, but still like you buy it entirely. It was like, of course that would finish a match.
I have so much respect for those kind of finishes where it's just like, you know, this isn't necessarily a signature move, but this is just the end.
Yeah,
like you're not getting out of this. Like sometimes you get those as like a great near fall, and you kind of wish they were the finish.
Yeah.
And then on the rare moment like this where it actually is, it's like that much more fulfilling.
Yeah. Agreed.
I also really loved the start of this of like Bull offering the handshake, which you're like, oh, this is out of character. And then rather than Hokuto, well, she does take the handshake, but then straight up she goes in and does she give her a big slap or something where she gets it going off hot?
Yeah, I don't remember the exact move, but yeah, I remember her. No time for that handshake.
So it's like turning that sort of heel face kind of dynamic a bit on its head, which I really enjoyed. And I definitely can understand. I feel like Hokuto is one of those great sort of like greatest Joshi wrestler of all time candidates that a lot of people don't necessarily. I mean, I think back in the day more people like saw it that way. Now it's more like you definitely hear like Manami Toyota and Bull and Aja Kong, but it seems like some kind of less so Hokuto. But Hokuto to me had just such an electric presence about her and everything that she did, and like such a drama about the way she did stuff. Like, big fan.
Yeah, again, not as familiar as you would be, but it's definitely enjoyed her.
Well, I'm happy to try to show what it is that I love about her through Wrestling Club. But so then we went to Terry Funk in Jesse's Body Shop, a delightfully weird segment from one of the WWF television shows from, I believe this was right near the early part of Terry Funk's foray into WWF. Started out with Jesse the Body just pumping iron with some weird Southern hick music playing in the background. And then we go on to get this great, bizarre Terry Funk promo about just what has brought him to WWF, and that is his hate for the Junkyard Dog and their heated rivalry from many years prior when Junkyard Dog was somehow pivotal in some sort of crowd attack that it resulted in Terry Funk having some grave injuries in a possibly racially motivated attack that they kind of were a bit weird on how much they wanted to fully go into the racial thing. I thought it was an interesting balance, fascinating promo, and very memorable part of Terry's run with WWF.
Yeah, it was very, very close to, it's right on that line of, I don't know about this, man. This is, I feel like we're just making Terry a racist, and I don't love that.
I mean, Terry did make a point to say that he was wrestling a fine black athlete in the match. He really wanted to put over the fact that he does not necessarily discriminate, but then he goes on to very much discriminate. So I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it was still a fun Terry promo because it's Terry and him describing just like how everyone was beating him and they kicked him and he's whatever else, he's broken his ribs or whatever else happened. So it's like still entertaining. But
he's tasting his own blood.
Yeah, but right on that line of like I don't know about this though.
It's one of those ones that definitely feels different in today's context. I feel, but a fascinating weird start to Terry's WWF run here. And kicking off the feud with JYD. At this point, I'd like to apologise to you for my absolutely trash audio. I don't know what happened when I recorded this chat with Brad, but it clearly got real bad. So I'm jumping back in to re-record elements here for the sake of it being a better listening experience. But at this point, we got to jump into a little better world-class championship wrestling. We had, what do we have here? It was the December 24th, 1983 edition of World Class, and we jumped in mid-match to an amazing Kevin Von Erich versus Terry Bam Bam Gordy match. We got the finish of Kevin coming off at the top, getting a big win, but then getting attacked post-match by Terry Gordy's dastardly Freebird partner, Buddy Roberts. We had a bit of a melee there, very cruelly stomped on the hand of Kevin, but we get it all set up. It looks like we're going to be heading next week to another Loser Leaves Town match. We're going to have Kevin teaming with his brother Mike up against the Freebirds duo of Terry Bam Bam Gordy and Buddy Roberts to see who is going to be next to be kicked out of Texas. I thought this was a wonderful little angle here and sets it up for the big Christmas show. I also have a lot of love as we get into the big match next week for the very charming Mike Von Erich.
He's likable. The intro with the promo where it's Kevin just like cutting this fiery promo and he's his sort of his old boy charm, and it's just like the whole promo's him, and then at the very end it's I'm not even sure exactly what he asked, but he's like, "Isn't that right, Mike?" And Mike's just like, "Yeah." And that's it. That's all we get from Mike. I'm like, okay, we're not. We'll put him in the ring, but we don't really need him to talk. Thank you very much.
So great. Yeah, this is like he does this fiery promo that I very much enjoyed. Actually, he's got like all the Von Erichs have a very unique style about their promo, like something that's so kind of like authentic and just lovable white meat baby face, like not this, it's very much not like a Dusty Rhodes promo or a Ric Flair over the top promo. It's just a dude telling it how it is and how, these Freebirds have wronged him, and he's going to represent Texas and do the right thing and send these Freebirds packing home to Georgia, and even makes a point to say that he doesn't have anything against the people of Georgia. Like,
yeah,
such a nice guy.
Yeah, no, yeah, his promo was like it was great. It's just the Mike tag on the end got a
So
laugh.
good. I cannot watch that without laughing. It's so great. And of course, a great promo as well from Terry Gordy and Buddy Roberts, where I think I mentioned to you on the night, like we didn't really have it acknowledged that Buddy Roberts previously had his hair shaved by the Von Erich. So if you're watching this in a vacuum where you have no idea, all you're thinking of is like, man, Buddy's got some wild, how would you describe this wig?
It's like white guy dreads, but he's sort of like this blonde hair in short little dreads. So it's sort of it's like short, so like, but not like cropped to the head short, just like 2 or 3 inches long. So he's got like this little daggly sort of fringe. He looks a bit like a mop, and yeah, I'm like, what is going on with his hair? I was like, I don't know, man. It was the 80s or 70s.
80s.
It was like it was the 80s. So I don't know what they were doing back then. I'll go with it. And then his reveal that when he pulls the wig off and he's grown some small amount of hair back, I'm like, oh my god. He's recovered from the shame of his losing the hair match.
He was willing to put it all on the line and possibly be kicked out of Texas, all in all. But yeah, I very much enjoyed that promo. And Terry Gordy, very underrated promo as well. He showed some real fire there that I really got on board with in terms of like just a classic Southern boy heel promo. So good.
And like, as opposed to, I think, anything Buddy said, like Terry seems super coherent. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm following what you're saying, Terry. Like, but which, I don't know, some of that 80s stuff, I'm like, it feels like they're making so much of it up on sort of just off the cuff, off the top of their head. And so it sort of just, you can lose the track on it sometimes. But not with Terry. It was like Terry Gordy. He was like, yeah, no, I get what you're saying. And yeah.
Hearing Terry Gordy and coherent together in one sentence sounds quite bizarre to me, but I love it. And I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I think he's got a message he's trying to get across, and he does it.
Yeah. I think this definitely built anticipation for me in wanting to see this big Freebirds versus Von Erichs clash in the world class classic sort of era of the Freebirds versus Von Erichs feud. So good. So we then go to Mankind wrestling Santa Claus in a boiler room brawl. This was from Raw is War, the 20th of December 1999 in Houston, Texas. This was weird but delightful for me. What did you think?
I really liked it. Like, it's not so much a match as it's just like an entertainment segment, but like as an entertainment, I really liked it because like, so Mankind's been put in this boiler room brawl match with Santa, and like I don't know, it was clever because like the first thing that happens after he's like has his promo outside the room is, I think it was the Mean Street Posse comes along and beats him up a bit and throws him into the room because like clearly he wouldn't even go into the boiler room otherwise. He doesn't want to fight Santa. But so the Mean Street Posse have thrown him in, and then he's in the room, and like he encounters Santa in there, and she's like, "Okay, Santa, like I love you, Santa. Like I'm not gonna beat you up. I'm not gonna fight you. So to win the boiler room brawl, it's just one of us has to leave. So I'll let you leave. You go home to Mrs. Claus and the elves, and they all think you're really good because you beat Mankind, and I don't have to feel bad for having beat up Santa." So we sit. I'm like, yeah,
give you an easy payday, Santa.
Yeah, and so it was like, and that was I sort of skipped over the bit where he had the promo on the outside where he's doing all the like, I don't want to punch Santa in his and his cherry red nose. I don't want to whack him in his belly like a bowl full of jelly. It's like, so getting all the Santa bits in to say how he doesn't want to beat him off. Goes in,
It brought me so much joy. That was my favourite thing of the whole bit. Just hearing Foley talk about how much he didn't want to have to beat up his hero and how much he loves Christmas. But I guess he's going to do what he's got to do. But man, I adored how much effort that he put into capturing the magic of Christmas in this promo.
Yeah, and then so after he's made the deal with Santa, which, by the way, I love that in this and in the rest of the matches and whatever we saw in Wrestling Club, it's like Santa is a real person in just like all wrestling kayfabe. Santa exists.
Yes.
And so, like, he's gone and he spoke to the real Santa, but then other people dressed as Santa come in and attack him. And he's like, and like, this is like one of the many times we heard across the night, wait a minute, that's not the real Santa. because you need to have a real Santa for them to be sort of shocked and outraged when the Santa character attacks and like, oh, that's not the real Santa. And so it was a bunch, I'm not sure who exactly it was, because they're all in Santa costumes who attack Foley now. It's like,
I think we got to a point where it became clear at least some of them were DX.
Yeah.
I think we got Road Dogg, we got Badass Billy Gunn, and then ultimately that hook-nosed douchebag Triple H. But I don't know if the rest of them, who they were, or that was all of them. It was a little bit confusing, but there was a lot of Santas.
Yeah. Well, I think once Billy Gunn's hat came off, and you're like, that's Billy Gunn. Recognizable Billy Gunn. He's just got I don't know, he's obviously a big guy, and he's just the way he carries himself. I'm like, I recognize Billy Gunn. And then Road Dogg doing his juke jock and, his punches and whatever. So you could recognize him from that. But yeah, beat the hell out of Foley until Hunter comes in with his Santa costume on and beats him up as well. And I guess that means Foley lost the Boiler Room Brawl? I don't know.
Santa won, I guess?
Yeah. There's a backdrop through the table in that as well. That once Billy Gunn and Road Dogg came in, they set up a table and backdrop Foley through the table onto the concrete of this boiler room. It's like, that was
such an unnecessary bump.
Yeah, it's like, that was a way harsher bump than you needed to take for this brawling segment.
That was one of the ones where it's like, I feel Foley really was like, whatever I can do in this segment, I'm just going to take an unnecessarily painful bump. Because that's his whole shtick, I guess.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know, by this point, people like you, Mick. You don't need to do that every time.
Oh my gosh. So I think people got a kick out of that one. That was one where the bar still had a decent amount of people, and I definitely heard some joy out of this ridiculousness, which made me happy. We then jump into the official night that was in World Class Championship Wrestling. It's Christmas Star Wars 1983. One of their biggest shows up to this point. I believe it was a record gate of over 20,000 people in the Reunion Arena at the time. And we have... I was originally going to play another match from this show, Christmas Night Star Wars, but sometimes you have to make some sacrifices. I didn't want it to get too kind of bogged down. So the one I was going to play that we didn't quite get to was a great Jose Lothario versus Black Gordman match that was sort of like this great weird old man lucha kind of like match. But Jose Lothario always has like so much fire, great punches. So I'd highly recommend that one if anyone wants to go out of your way to give that a little watch. Very enjoyable, tidy little 9-minute match. But then we go over to the match of the night that I knew we couldn't skip over, involving Kerry Von Erich. We actually got the lead up promos to it as well. A great little promo from Kerry, recapping his feud with the Ugandan giant Kamala up to that point. Kerry in maybe not the most understandable, intelligible promo of the evening. Let us know that he had already slammed Kamala once, where I think the bet thing was he would get $10,000 if he managed to slam the Ugandan giant.
Yep.
But they weaseled him out of his money, and so he's going to slam him on this evening, and then he mentions to us that'll actually make it $20,000 that he's owed. I just love this promo. We then go to Skandar Akbar in the back, the devious manager of the Ugandan giant, letting us know their side of the story and how the Kamala is gonna seek vengeance on Kerry Von Erich and describe in various ways how he's going to put him through a lot of pain. I enjoyed both of these interviews very much, and it really set the table for me, really, really wanting to see Kerry Von Erich give the giant Kamala a body slam.
Yeah, it's one of those, classic old school things. It's like you set up the stakes. It's like he needs to body slam him because he's been done out of his money, what was the justification for having pay him? The match had been called off, or there was a DQ or something.
Yeah, something like that. I believe there was a DQ or something to where Skandar Akbar did not feel like the body slam was official. But I'm personally shocked that Skandar Akbar would try to weasel his way out of this deal.
I don't know much about Skandar Akbar at all. Is he? What's his deal? Is he just a guy from the south who pretends to be Middle Eastern?
I'm quite certain that is exactly what it is. It's a Texas man who, for some reason, has an affinity for the Middle East. Maybe he moved over there in the oil boom. I'm not sure. But either way, he's proudly representing the vague Middle Eastern bad guys that were clearly the heels of the world to America during the early 80s.
Yeah. I think maybe he was the guy in the locker room who had the darkest beard. And so there's that works. Dark beards clearly mean from the Middle East.
Kind of heck of a promo, though. I very much becoming a fan of the managerial talents of Skandar Akbar from this little excerpt.
Yeah, no, it was great.
So then we get the match that was our big $10,000 body slam match. And man, I love this. I think I really enjoyed it. It didn't go too long. It was short enough, but the crowd was crazy hot because obviously you have so much love for Kerry, and they've done a really great job of building Kamala up as this, this great powerful evil dude that we all hate. And just being an absolute monster, and they work so well together. Terry's fire in this, his punches so good. Kamala, I thought, was so great, and sort of we take all these these big drop kicks and stuff, and it wouldn't quite get him down, doing that classic kind of big man thing of his teetering cells as well. So great. Yeah, man, I thought this was really good.
Yeah, it was entertaining, and I think I mentioned on the night, it's this style of wrestling where, they've probably worked out a half dozen spots at max in the match.
Mm.
And then because occasionally you'll sort of see stuff and it's oh yeah, that they say they knew what they were doing ahead of time before that, but other than that, they sort of just move around the ring, feed into each other, brawl around, and they're both good at it. So you sort of just get this nice, I don't know, realistic isn't the right word, but it's it's a more natural flow than some other matches, which I love matches that, I love a lot of matches that feel a bit more choreographed than whatever else. I'm not saying that they're bad. I know you're maybe not as big of a fan, but I like them. But yeah, this sort of just do it, sort of a bit off the cuff, do it, sort of go with the flow of it, or so you can respond to the crowd, so you're just sort of responding to the guy in the ring with you. Yeah, they worked really well with that.
Yeah, I think, everything has its time and place, but there's definitely something about this that has such a charm for me, of this sort of, classic Southern style of just how loose and flowy it feels, and yeah, how much it is just like kind of like going off of the energy of this crazy hot crowd. Like there's something I'll never get sick of with watching these old world class matches of just the bloody screams of these women, like to Kerry and to the Von Erichs in general. But you just like anytime like Kamala would get on top of him, especially when he had this like incredible double pectoral claw, which may be my new favorite submission of all time. Like the screams coming from these women at their hero Kerry in pain, man, so good.
Yeah, there's some things about older wrestling where I'm like, okay, it's older and I'll appreciate it for what it is, but it's not sort of my favorite sort of entertainment. But like those old school, really basic finishes and holds that you're just like, man, if you sell that well enough, I'm into that sort of, the pectoral claw is awesome, and all those sort of things, like when Carly used to do his head vice and stuff like that, it was like, I don't know, I just like that, but the pectoral claw is not one that I don't know if I've ever seen it before, so yeah, Kamala locking it in on the one side and then the other side, it's like, I can see how you build a match around like that being a sort of a submission style finisher, because it looks painful. Like you can do it to yourself. You can grab the edge of that muscle and be like, yeah, if someone yanked on that would hurt like hell. Yeah, it doesn't feel that well attached, to be honest. So,
I think any of those classic old nerve holds, I'm such a fan of. And then obviously, if we're talking about Kerry Von Erich, the incredible iron claw. Which he finally locks on and then uses that to bring him in for the body slam that would be. Great little match.
Yeah, fun stuff.
Though we do have to acknowledge there was a shady DQ earlier on, so it's I'm not entirely sure that Kerry is going to be getting his $10,000 from that body slam.
Well,
but the crowd sure as heck liked it.
It wasn't during the period of a sanctioned match. Like the match had finished at that point, so why would it's clearly he's not due any money. Me and Akbar are on the same page.
Are you taking a payday from Skandar Akbar, Brad?
No, I'm just playing by the rules of the game. Akbar knows them.
Oh man, so great. So we then go on to the main match that I was playing this show for. Again, the reason I chose this one specifically, the Star Wars 1983 show from Reunion Arena. Incredible name. Are there any wrestling shows that sound as cool as Christmas Star Wars? But B, it took place on Christmas night. I love the concept. There used to be a rich wrestling tradition similar to Thanksgiving. Family has their big lunch or whatever, has their family Christmas time. The presents are all unwrapped. And what else are we going to do that night? Why not go to a bloody wrestling show? And then that would be one of the biggest wrestling shows of the year would actually fall on Christmas night. Sadly, a tradition that I don't think really exists anywhere anymore. But I thought this was so fascinating. Now, also has to be acknowledged through this entire show, even before this match, we had a Santa Claus that was just fumbling around in the crowd, wandering about. I assume wishing kids well. I don't know, but we saw little glimpses of it in the Kerry versus Kamala match. But then we get to the big match that would be the loser leaves town. We mentioned the great promos before of Kevin and the brief but wonderful little joining in of Mike there, as well as Buddy Roberts and Terry Gordy. A spirited match. I was so impressed by, I think, Mike more than anything in this match, given his limited experience. And generally all you hear about Mike is that he was, definitely not, the most natural of the Von Erichs in terms of like in-ring performance. But I thought a lot of the stuff that he did in this match was actually fantastic. And obviously like two of the greatest heel workers to be, like bouncing off against in Buddy Roberts and Terry Gordy. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed this match a lot more than I thought I would.
Yeah, I think Mike sort of had that benefit, and it'll come up again when we talk about Bret and Bulldog, where when we get to that, I'll talk about it. But where, yeah, I think he's like got enough physicality to him, and he's obviously done training because he's probably been training since he was 2 years old type thing. So like he knows how to do any of the moves. Like he's not sloppy.
Some great little arm drags.
Yeah. And so as long as he's got sort of someone guiding him through it, and like what they asked of him wasn't that complex either, because he's like keeping the headlocks locked on and whatever. But that works for the match. But yeah, as long as he had someone there guiding him through it, like he had the physical tools to do his part of it. So it was solid in this match.
And I think what really impressed me as well, outside of sort of like, being able to do the moves, like everything he did, he looked like he just did it with so much heart, which is always like the big thing, the magic of the Von Erich family and all the Von Erich boys for me. But I don't know if it was just half out of like pure terror because he didn't want to disappoint his dad. But everything he did just seemed like it had such a sense of urgency, and like the facial expressions that he had, and yeah, I just thought this was some magic here. And then of course again the crowd really just like being so incredibly behind these Von Erich boys and hating the Freebirds so much.
Yeah, it was good.
And then, of course, we lead up to the main kicker as to why I included this match on the evening. The big run-in we mentioned Santa Claus was making his way around the crowd earlier in the evening. He makes another appearance and punches a guy on the outside. Maybe I don't know who that was, but makes his presence known. Where they're like, "What's going on with Santa?" He makes his way into the ring. And then shockingly starts beating down the Von Erichs. Eventually takes off the beard and the Santa's hat, and lo and behold, it is the dastardly Michael P.S. Hayes. He's back from Georgia. He's not meant to be in Texas. I guess it makes it somehow excusable that he is not Michael P.S. Hayes. He is Santa, but kicks the asses of the Von Erichs and keeps this thing going. What a great run!
Yeah, wait a minute. That's not the real Santa. Again. I think the commentary sort of blew it a bit just before that, though, because they're like, is that just, like before he... Because he came into the ring and he sort of was raising one of the Von Erich's hands and then turned on him. I'm like, it was just a bit muddled because, like, if you've just punched a guy on the outside, but maybe that was, I don't know, maybe that was a bad kid, so that's all right. But then he comes in, but commentary's already speculated it's Michael Hayes, so I'm like, what? I'm not buying. Of course he's going to attack the Von Erich. So, but it was only this split second, and I do love that. How shocked they are when it's not the real Santa, so that's fine.
Yeah, I did also need to mention how much I adore the commentary of Bill Mercer here. Just this lovable old man, probably not even that old at this point, lovable middle-aged man who just similar to like a Lance Russell, just has that or a Gordon Soley or JR. Got that like just trustworthy older man, fatherly figure who is just outraged by these dastardly heels. He wants to see the good guys succeed. And yeah, he I guess, he saw it up close. He could tell it was Michael Hayes. He's not going to be telling anyone different. But I did very much enjoy Bill Mercer here.
Yeah, it's good.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Kelly Clarkson with Wayfair. My favorite thing about the holidays? Decking out my whole house. It's not a competition, but if it was, well, I'd win the season with Wayfair. Outdoor inflatable Santa? Got it on Wayfair. Trees, lights, and ornaments? Wayfair. Hosting must-haves like dining sets, beds, sheets, and towels? Wayfair. For everything in your style delivered with fast and free shipping, visit Wayfair.com or the Wayfair app to win the season. But again, it's not a competition.
Wayfair, every style, every home. Hey, this is Steve Gorman, radio host, sports commentator, former drummer for the Black Crowes. The winter holidays are here, a time for festive celebrations, family gatherings, and ringing in the new year. Whether it's a holiday party, a night out with friends, or just relaxing by the fire with a few drinks, it's a season full of good cheer. But here's something else to add to your holiday plans: a safe and sober ride home. Just like in sports and music, always have a game plan. And the most important part of any plan is sticking to it. If you plan to drink, take that plan a step further. Call a rideshare, a taxi, a sober friend, or have a designated driver lined up before the night begins. Drinking and driving is a decision that can change your life and the lives of others forever. A DUI, a crash, an injury. The consequences are real and lasting. So please, for your sake and for everyone else on the road, make the smart choice. Get a sober ride home. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
So then, after our first, second dastardly act by Santa of the evening here, we go to WCW Monday Nitro from December 12th, 2000, to another surprise appearance of Santa. This is during a hardcore match between Norman Smiley and Meng. Where the action is already going, and then Santa makes his way into the ring, and very quickly becomes apparent that, oh my gosh, this is not the real Santa, this is Terry Funk, Brad.
I'm shocked. I expected the real Santa to interfere in this match, but no, it was Funk all along.
Oh my, this was Terry at his most ridiculous, I want to say. It is during a very ridiculous time of WCW when the wheels have definitely fallen off. But man, this was so ridiculous that I loved every bit of it. We had Santa Terry throwing the powder or salt or whatever it was into the eyes of Meng. Meng then can't see what he's doing, and Terry positions Meng's second, Paisley, in front of him, and he goozles her without knowing because he's blinded. We also get Kwee come into the ring and get beaten up, and I don't think he's even acknowledged on commentary.
We also have Norman Smiley getting beaten up by Terry. I believe Terry gets on the microphone, expresses his intention or something to go for the hardcore.
I don't even know what he says, but it's great. We have Crowbar come into the ring. He's the hardcore champion at this point, and he very respectfully says to Terry, "You know what, Terry? I would be honored to defend my title against you." And then Terry responds by just hitting him in the head real hard with was it a chair?
Yeah. We saw another Terry match later, right?
Yes.
Right, okay.
Yes, we did.
I just remember there was a chair in that match that got very dented. Yeah, but no, when he hit Crowbar, I'm just like, Crowbar looked like such a dumbass. It's like, you've just seen what he did. What makes you think Terry Funk's a reasonable person who you're just going to graciously accept a challenge from? It's like, you're a dumb man, Crowbar, but honourable, I guess.
Yeah. Very, very fun little clip where I was like, man, all right, let's just get in all of the Christmas things here, humanly possible. We then go to, if we haven't had enough Terry Funk, it's really time to get into the forest here. We go to WWF's great Tuesday Night Titans talk show. Have you ever been very familiar with this thing?
Not in the slightest.
So it's sort of like almost positioned like a late night talk show where we have Vince interviewing different wrestlers from a desk, and we have Ludo Hayes kind of playing like the second to the host.
Oh, like
just chiming in from time
like the
to
Andy
time.
Richter role.
Yeah. Just a great concept that I really think is missing in today's wrestling landscape. But so in this one, we had Vince McMahon and Alfred Hayes going to Terry's place of
I don't know where he's most comfortable, I guess, is Terry's Saloon. They're in Texas. He comes in and visits Terry, and Terry is just delightfully belligerent the entire time, from start to finish. I adore this segment so much. From like Terry like telling sort of jokes and then no one laughing, and then him screaming at the rest of the bar to laugh, and then they all start laughing because they're scared of him, and he's like, "Shut up!" So then we get they go to play a recent match that Terry had, and Vince really builds this up in that we're going to see a branding which we've never seen before. I actually clipped down the match. They played heaps of the match, and then they come back, and then Terry rightfully is like, "Where was the branding?" And then only for us to hear that Alfred decided it was just so outrageous that he edited it off the broadcast. What the hell?
Right? And I'm like, it was fun, but stupid. It's like, you cut to this to show us the branding. Like, the whole thing, and then to say, like, no, we cut it off. It was like, then don't go to the clip, man. Like...
There's clearly been a lack of communication about this clip between how it was thrown to and what it ended up being.
You look incompetent, Hayes.
Terry was right to be outraged. Screw you, Alfred. Oh my gosh. Then we have, I can't remember his name, the New Zealander fellow. One of the he ended up being like a road agent for WWF later. He was one of those kind of like every time there was like a fight that was, pulled apart, you'd always see this dude there. His name's escaping me.
Was it Paul?
He comes in, something like that. But he starts flirting with Terry's saloon lady that Terry has a bit of a gleam in his eye for. And then the slow build-up to Terry, just his seething jealousy of this very mild-mannered New Zealand man was quite wonderful, ending in just an incredible scene where Terry breaks a bottle over the back of his head, and we just get the most ridiculous beatdown, and Terry screaming at him, calling him a pig, while the rest of this Texas bar cheers him on. Man, this was just an all-timer of a delightful, hilarious, campy 80s wrestling segment, if I've ever seen one.
I love just this slow sneak up as like Terry's slowly, he grabs a bottle off someone on the table and just slowly walks up behind the New Zealander, the unnamed New Zealander, and just like he just waits there, and then before he smashes the bottle over his head, it wasn't like this moment of rage. It's just like, no, I'm calculatingly
slow saunter up.
Yeah.
Even when you see him take the bottle off of the table, it's like, this couldn't be any more deliberate. It's so great.
Yeah. And then they absolutely destroy this bar set, and like tables and chairs, like the bar itself gets kicked in, and massive damage to this rickety set.
And we can't forget the bit where Terry just starts throwing these wooden chairs. One of the real Terry signatures was him just aimlessly throwing chairs up into the air. We still get that despite being in a saloon. Man, this brought me a lot of joy, and I feel like this era of early 80s WWF doesn't, well, not early. I think this is 85, so mid 80s WWF. It's some great stuff to be found there.
And I don't know if it was part of this same clip or it came back to it later, but then there's like the bit at the end where Vince and Lord Alfred Hayes are sort of vaguely helping to clean up as this one guy sweeps up everything in the bar and sort of just picks up a chair and sort of just puts it somewhere. It's like there's nothing to be done with it. But yeah, it's like, well, we can't just leave. We got to help clean up, otherwise we're assholes.
That was my favourite thing. I made sure to include that, like, right at the end of the night, after we've had our main event, we like just cut back to them picking up the remnants and just talking disgustedly about Terry Funk and then getting the credits of this episode of Tuesday Night Titans. I think that might be my favorite wrestling credit scene of all time. I'm just slowly panning onto the broken table and the debris and Vince very annoyedly like picking shit up and helping to tidy, and this bar keeps sweeping. So great.
And then sort of at the very end of that, they go to walk away because like they've done all they can to help clean up, but they don't walk out the bar door because it doesn't lead anywhere. So they just sort of start walking out towards the front of the set. It's like, come on, you got to at least pretend to maintain it. But that's
oh man,
like we weren't buying it. It's just fun. It's more fun that way for the bit of cheese of it all. It's like,
oh man, and the music. I gotta say, the music in this whole bit of it just was so great. Like even the credits as we went into and out of commercials from Tuesday Night Titans just had the most like somber, soft, jazzy kind of like music, like playing just this like classy late night music. And then in the saloon we had this like really delicate like piano playing. Oh man, so much to enjoy here.
It was good. What was the next match? Was that
So then we cut back to WCW Nitro, the Christmas 1995 edition of the show, which funnily enough, I don't think the actual show itself has many matches that are too noteworthy, so I didn't include any matches. But I just made sure to include the intro showing Steve Mongo McMichael and his beautiful little dog Peppy and Peppy's lovely little Christmas outfit.
Yes, that terrified. That probably not terrified. I don't think that dog's like fully with it at all. That dog looks so old. I'm glad that Mongo loved it and would keep it with him. But I assume the only reason it's not sort of constantly spooked is because it was probably deaf and blind and had no idea what was going on. But it was in a very cute Christmas outfit.
That was enough from Nitro that night. We just had to make sure to see Peppy here. We then jump over to WWF Saturday night. This, I believe, was WWF Saturday night, the third iteration of this show on NBC. It was actually a pretty massive deal in the 80s. Produced by I think it was with like Dick Ebersol. And this was a key part of the introduction of Terry Funk during, and it kind of like led up to his biggest match, I'd say, during that WWF run. Was it the following Saturday night's main event against Hogan? So I thought this did a great job of like kind of encapsulating that feud that he had with Junkyard Dog, and putting a little bow on it before we get Terry ready for Hogan. We get a great intro. I love that like Saturday night's main event intro that it had during that period. But we get the intro with I think Mean Gene is interviewing Terry Funk and his manager at the time, Jimmy Hart, the Mouth of the South. And again, sort of like encapsulating this feud that he's had with the Junkyard Dog. We get a flashback to Terry attacking a ringside attendant, which I believe ends up being Slick. But a great little promo there from Terry and Jimmy Hart before we hear from the Junkyard Dog himself. Very few words, but he seems like he means business. I loved how like short he was, or just like, what was it? He's like, every dog's gonna have his day, or something like that. And then we get the big match that was Terry versus JYD. And it's funny because I feel like their matches are often talked down upon, definitely like not looked at as, much of a highlight of either man's career. But I thought this was actually pretty great for what it was. What did you think?
I enjoyed it. This is the one where Terry absolutely bent the hell out of a chair over JYD, isn't it?
I think so. I mean, I know he did that to Meng in the previous.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I don't know. That chair just got absolutely destroyed, though. That's the most memorable bit to me. Is like just this steel chair, just the fold in the middle of it, where it's just dented over her head.
I mean, this match I think was great to me because it has all the pantomime aspects of Terry Funk, of him just being this great, over the top bad guy. I thought JYD was just fantastic for his role in this. I thought he looked great, just like bumping Terry all over the place. Terry made him look like a beast, honestly. And I thought like both guys got over through this match, and I thought it really accomplished its goal. We had Jimmy Hart the manager get beaten up, and JYD tore off his pants and branded his ass.
I don't know how they think brands work. Like,
I mean, it wasn't hot, right?
No. And so it's sort of just, I guess there was like some paint or something on the end of it, or powder, because like they just make a white mark on his undies, and which is nothing.
I mean, it's the embarrassment, I assume.
Yeah, like he sold the embarrassment,
the physical scarring.
And like they use the brand as a weapon to sort of like hit. And it's like, okay, cool. That's it's a metal bar. Like that makes sense. But yeah, when they keep going on about like gonna brand him, it's like, is it like, has it been sitting in a fire at ringside? Because otherwise, that's not how that goes.
I assume it's like an electrical brand, or it just stays hot the whole time. Perhaps
I don't think the true cowboy Terry Funk would have an electric brand. Thank you very much.
No. I think you're right. But I thought this was a great little piece of business. Very, very fun, ridiculous match. And yeah, I think it is. It was better to me than what a lot of people make out of this rivalry to be. So that was my reason for including that there. Fond little Terry Funk memory of his feud with JYD. We then cut to a little excerpt from the great wrestling promotion that was Portland Wrestling, and one of their main sponsors was Tom Peterson, who ran a shop that seemed like it sold all of the things. This was a Christmas commercial from 1987.
Only at Tom Peterson's, Portland's largest selection of VCRs. Plus, during the holiday season, free 104 rental movies. 2 movies a week for 52 weeks. Choose this VHS HQ, only $168. Buy this VHS with 4 heads, $248. Buy this VHS with stereo, only $298. Now that's Tom Peterson's, the happy place to buy. It's worth the trip.
I very much enjoyed this Christmas commercial.
I like trying to work out the economics of it. It's like, he can't be giving away that many tapes. It was like 100 and something tapes, wasn't it? Or yes, whatever it was. It was some large amount of tapes. Like, it's got to be rentals, right? It can't, like, that was my main concern.
I mean, the video VHS player was like $210 on special, and that's like 1987 money. So that is a considerable amount of money for a video player. So I'd hope you get some tapes with that.
I still think it's only rentals. Like, video players were expensive when they first came out. So, and video tapes were crazy expensive. That's right. But this is not important. But that was my main concern watching this promo. I was like, wait, what? Somebody's going out of business if this is the business plan.
You're going to be losing out on money here. What's going on, Tom? You're going to put yourself out of business here with these specials.
I don't hear anything about Tom Peterson's video empire anymore, so clearly something went wrong.
All right, we then jump into WWF. A few years into the future, we've got In Your House 5. I believe this was... Let me have a look here. All right, this was entitled Season's Beatings, so I really had to include the show that I stole the tagline from. But so this one took place on December 17th, 1995, in Hershey, Pennsylvania. An amazing intro with some delightfully 90s CGI. some snowballs being thrown against someone's door. We get a great campy intro to the wonderful feud of Davey Boy Smith with his wife Diana and the sister of Brett against the Hitman. And then the great little intro of it of Vince just being so excited about Christmas, I thought was just delightful as well.
Yeah, it was good lead into the match, and I don't know if there was a promo or it was just you talking about at the time, like their Wembley match before this, which is obviously a really highly regarded one. Which is what sort of
incredible match.
Yeah, which is what that was the one where Davey Boy was like pretty out of it, yeah.
Reportedly high off his tits.
Yeah, and so still have an incredible match because again, similar to what I was saying before with Mikey, it's like he's got the physical tools like in a different way. Like him and Brett have probably had hundreds of matches and training together at this point, and so like they know how to do a spot together, sort of eyes closed. You would imagine. And so, as long as you've got someone,
I mean, all their matches in Stampede back in the day in Calgary, I'm sure that they'd wrestled one another like dozens of times up to this point. But such a great chemistry between the two of them. I do feel that of all of Brett's incredible matches throughout his career, I do think that one against Davey is maybe his most impressive accomplishment. One moment. Hang on. There's a fight between the dogs happening. I'll be right back.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, crisis averted. The dogs seem to be okay. These things happen. But yeah, as I was saying, man, I think of all of Brett's stuff, like that match against Davey, especially the Wembley one, definitely one of his most like impressive accomplishments. And I'd say of Davey's career, possibly his greatest opponent as well was likely Brett. Like something about them together just works so well.
Yeah, and so in this match, the In Your House match, like when they're both there, both switched on, like great match.
I mean, before we get into it, we did have we have to make mention of the amazing final fake Santa of the evening, perhaps, where we have Savio Vega with Santa giving out gifts to the kids, and then the devious Ted DiBiase comes out, runs down Santa, runs down Christmas. He is disparaging everyone, saying how he can buy off Santa, and apparently he does, because he manages to get Santa to turn on Savio Vega after Savio Vega has told everyone how much he loves the spirit of Christmas. But as you mentioned, it turns out I don't actually think that was the real Santa Claus after all.
Wait a minute. That's not the real Santa.
Shocking. Turns out to be Balls Mahoney.
Yep.
He had a brief run during this time in WWF. I think he at least had like one or two other matches as I can't remember what they gave him a terrible name. It was like Xanta Claus or some sort of bastardized bad guy Santa gimmick that was a very short run gimmick and probably not his most memorable thing. But I thought this was a great, bizarre little segment. Again, another thing that I had to make sure to include on our Christmas special of Wrestling Club. But then, we get to the match that was great little intro promo from Jim Cornette, who was the manager of Davey Boy at this time. And Davey, actually, like I've seen some promos from Davey that may be the worst promos of all time. But this I thought was a great little piece of business. Great little promo from Brett as well. Really like set the table for, Brett losing the big match in Wembley to Bulldog. I guess at that time it was like a massive baby face. So here the tables are turned a bit. Bulldog's wife, Diana, being Brett's sister. And yeah, kind of like the way they played that was not too over the top. I thought they like walked the line quite well.
Yeah, and I don't know, Diana was like in the promo, but then at ringside for the match, and just very good sort of distraught face. Like the whole match sort of like, oh, like clearly worried about Davey Boy when he's taking the offense and taking the heat, but like even when he's in control, it's like, well, it's still her brother that's being beat up then. So like just distraught for that whole match, but in not that over the top way. It's like, oh yeah, I believe that she's worried about what's going on here.
Yeah, and it wasn't like we had this big, moment of where, will she or won't she? Is she gonna, like hit her brother, or is she gonna stand by her husband? Like, I just thought actually what did this with like a slight air of subtlety, which I very much did not expect. And the emphasis throughout the whole match was just on the wrestling. And the wrestling was fantastic. Like, like talking about that chemistry that Brett and Davey Boy have. Like, I just thought it was so great. Brett, like, bleeds a gusher. There's just a point where I don't know if he got hit on the corner post or something, and then he's just like, we see blood like just dripping out of his head so fast.
Well, we barely see it coming out of his head. We just see all the puddles that he leaves behind because you said it on the night, but it seems like they're super deliberately not showing him bleed, but like there is so much blood that like he is, and like there's the occasional shot where you see it on his face, but it's mostly just like, anytime he's like knocked to the ground or and especially after he first hits that ring post and sort of comes up off the ring mats at the outside, there's like these couple of big puddles on the ground, like, oh wow, okay, and then trying to sort of see his face after that, and it's like, no, they're just not showing it. No close-ups, no anything. It's like, was he allowed to bleed there? Because they seem to really be avoiding showing it.
I'm assuming this must have been during the period where they've just like gotten rid of the ban of the blade, but Vince is still somewhat uncomfortable with it, right? Because we even hear on commentary at a certain point where Vince, because we got Vince and Jerry Lawler on commentary for this, which actually I thought they actually did a pretty good job on commentary for this, despite neither of them being particularly good, wrestling commentators for my taste, but. There's even a bit where Vince says like, "Oh, let's make sure to not show any close-ups of Brett's face." You're like, what?
Yeah, it's like that's the commentary, and also hint to the guys in production. This is what I want. Don't show his face now.
Such a bizarre time where it's like the guy who's running the show is the lead commentator. But yeah, man, I really love this match. This was so much better than. Like, I think I must have seen it before, but it must have been a long time ago. But this, I thought was just a fantastic wrestling. And for that kind of like, WWE's kind of known for their kind of like over-the-top melodrama, I thought for a WWE match, this was like, for me, about as good as it gets.
Yeah, and like, I haven't seen that much Brett, really. Because, like, I watched after he'd gone, and like I've gone back and watched a few things, but like only like the big matches, so I haven't seen that much of him. But like every time I do see him, it's like, man, he's just so crisp. And I mean, everyone knows that. I'm not making some big revelation, but it's it's still always impressive to see how good he is at wrestling. Like, it's like, even if like the match story or if the outcome or whatever wasn't a good match, like his Christmas, his physicality is just like, it's just so sharp. It's like he comes off the ropes so fast as well. It's like, Brett's a good wrestler. Surprise to everyone. I always come on here with these revelations.
He really does so much. Like, when watching this match, and especially when watching this match carefully, like there's so many little things that he does to like make every little thing that he's doing seem plausible. And like believable, and just like doing the little things a lot of people wouldn't even bother to do. Yeah, man, I'm clearly a big time Bret Hart fan, but this is the kind of match I watch and I'm just like, yeah, man, he was bloody awesome. But so following that, we then get our big main event of the evening. We're bringing it back to my most recent match of the week. This was a match that took place on July 29th, 1993. The glory period of early 90s All Japan Pro Wrestling. A special singles match in Kenta Kobashi versus Stan the Lariat Hansen. And man, if this is not one of the best matches I've ever seen.
It was so fun. Like the first thing I took away from it is like, I've seen a bunch of Kobashi matches, and like every time I see him, it's like, man, this dude is a brick shithouse. Like, he is just this solid, like just this thick muscle of like meat. And then he is dwarfed by Stan Hansen. Like, Stan's just such a big dude, and it's like, it's shocking because I don't know, I probably haven't seen that much Stan Hansen either, and so but yeah, seeing up against Kobashi, like someone who I am a lot more familiar with, and just seeing how much bigger than him is, he's just like, I almost want to call him lanky, but he's so solid. He's clearly not lanky, but like, he's just got these long limbs, but like long, thick limbs as well. And so he's just this huge man. And yeah, and then you get him and Kobashi just like slapping and chopping and hitting the hell out of each other, which is awesome.
Everything was just so physical, and there was like such an intensity, like electricity kind of in the air, like it's this, even like from the get-go. And the crowd was like super psyched. There's a few matches into their rivalry, so it's like we've already gotten to that kind of like point where, these guys clearly do not have any love lost for one another. And yeah, like Kobashi is just taking it to him like from the very second, like from the start. And Kobashi actually like takes probably the early portion of this match where you're just like, man, Stan Hansen is just kind of getting the shit beaten out of him, right? Like, he would just keep like coming back here and there, but overall, like Kobashi was just fucking beating him up. And then yeah, we get to the point where Stan's like, all right, enough of that. And we just get next level of brutality of just going on to beat the shit out of Kobashi. And dang, this was so great.
Yeah, and I think, especially while Kobashi had that his shine at the start, where he's dominating Stan a bit, he's just hitting him so hard, and like, it's got to be because if he doesn't, it makes them both look shit. Like, if Kobashi doesn't hit hard, then it looks like he can't hit hard. And if Stan has to bump off something that's not a hard hit, he's going to look shit out. So they have to just absolutely lay it in to make them both look good.
Stan's whole rep as well, at this point, is that, like, if you hit me and it doesn't, like, feel like it hits hard enough, I'm just not going to sell it. Like, I'm just going to eat you up. Like, Stan was not ever like a guy who would just be like, bumping off stuff that would just be sort of questionable. It's like, if you want Stan to sell, like, you have to earn that. And that really felt like the story of this match. Like, Kobashi just earning every little thing that he got on Stan through this.
Yeah. And, like, we know Kobashi can hit hard, so it's like, it wasn't ever going to be, like, a big problem, but still, it's impressive to see it against, like I said, someone as big as Stan. And it's just like, to be able to take down a guy that big or brutalize a guy that big, it's like, makes Kobashi look just like so much tougher than he already looked.
Yeah. And we get like some great like slap exchanges between them, and like punches and chops. Before too long, like Kobashi has this like bruise like on his cheekbone. Where it's like, man, that looks. If that got like that red that fast, that must have been, I assume, quite on the nasty side. Get like a wild like dive to the outside. I always love like Stan Hansen's just like bulldozer dives. And we've got that bloody power bomb on the outside on the concrete as well. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's just. So, how many matches do you think they would have had before this at this point?
I want to say 2 or 3.
Yeah.
A little look on Cage Match here. But it really makes me want to, go back and rewatch the entire rivalry, from start to finish, because this was just a magical thing. But so that one was 29th of July '93. The other matches, not wanting to load in this particular moment, but we'll keep talking while it does. But yeah, man, just such a furious energy, and again, the crowd just of that classic Budokan Hall crowd, nothing like it. Just brings so much excitement into the air, and yeah, there's a reason why I don't think you can even possibly overhype this period of 90s All Japan.
Yeah, and just some of the highlights of the match were Kobashi getting to land his moonsault. And it's, again, Kobashi's a big, thick dude, and he's just got this really nice moonsault. I expected, I don't know, when he went up, I'm yeah, Kobashi, I know he goes for a moonsault, but, in sort of later stuff, he doesn't often hit it that often.
I mean, that was seen as his big, massive finish, in his later days, right? If he pulled that out, or especially if he hit it, you knew that was a big epic special thing, because for the most part his finish in that era was the big short arm clothesline.
Yeah, but it was just a really nice moonsault, which then Hansen's kicks out of, and you're oh no, what could possibly take him down if not that?
Oh, it just keeps the escalation. This thing was amazing. It finally did load, by the way, and they actually had 6 singles matches prior to this. The first one being on July 7th of 1990. So definitely, I reckon this one would be worth going back and watching the whole feud properly. But yeah, I just. Especially down the finishing stretch of this thing where they're on the top rope, and you just get these such physical strikes where it's just man. So there's very little wrestling that kind of gets me in such a guttural kind of place as this kind of match does.
Yeah, and then those strikes on the top rope is what leads into that finish, which is Hansen just hitting his lariat, but not the big run-up one that sort of you expect to see from him that you'd normally see finish. But he just still swings his arm so hard to knock Kobashi off the top rope that you again, it's just a finish sort of not necessarily the finish I expected, but you still absolutely buy that that's going to end a match.
Oh, yeah. And he just hits him right in the face as well, on that top rope. And then just the best part is the camera angle. So we've got the camera angle from behind the turnbuckle, and then we just see Kobashi just kind of disappear out of frame. He just falls into the depths, man. And yeah, I kind of was oh, is that going to be sort of a near fall, and then we keep going? But no, that was actually perfect. I love that as a finish in hindsight.
Yeah. I sort of thought a near fall, and then he'd hit the run up and hit the lariat proper. But it's no, you knocked a guy off the top rope with the lariat. That'll work. Of course, it'll work.
Yeah, man. The crowd as well. It was almost because they were so behind Kobashi through this, but they also clearly had a lot of love for Stan Hansen as just this legendary gaijin at that point. In All Japan especially, and when that finish happened, I was almost is there going to be a bit of a boo kind of because they really wanted Kobashi to get the win here, but no, the crowd is just so happy that they got a great match and they love both these guys, and then they just show all of their love for Stan Hansen, and yeah, dude, I love this.
I was a bit surprised by that as well, because during the match, the crowd is very vocally behind Kobashi, but then, after Hansen wins and he's doing his pose as he walks away, it's everyone's giving him the big cheers. Just they still love him. Just because they were going for Kobashi in this match doesn't mean they don't love him.
Yeah, you watch a match like this and it really shows you why, when a lot of people talk about sort of those greatest gaijins of all time in Japanese wrestling, why it's hard to go past Stan Hansen is such a key for me at least. In terms of like that crowd's like proper level of like love for a Gaijin wrestler. Kind of similar to Terry Funk in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the end of our night. As mentioned, we then went to our credits of the Tuesday Night Titans in the aftermath of the saloon fight. But yeah, looping back, might ask, so what officially, Brad, was your favorite thing of the evening?
Before I go into that, there's one thing we didn't mention.
Yeah.
Which was just one of the other clips that you played, I think pretty early on in the night. But it was like the weird spoken word version of Santa Claus is Coming to Town from a bunch of...
So this was also in Georgia Championship Wrestling. Yeah, I don't know how we missed out on this. But this was the heels providing their little Christmas message.
So growling the lyrics.
Right. What song was it? Oh my god!
Santa Claus is Coming to Town. It's like he sees you when you're sleeping.
He knows when you're awake. We start out with Buzz Sawyer, Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer, and then we go to, I believe we also get Ivan Koloff, who was tremendous in this as well. And then I think my favorite of the lot was Ole Anderson, in just having like such like almost like a soft-spoken like dad kind of like voice to it, like, but with such incredible sincerity. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I just also wanted to make sure we bring up that, because that was another Christmassy highlight to the evening.
Oh my! I'm very glad you brought that up. It's so.
But yeah, match-wise, I mean, the main event was my favorite, but that weird Foley segment was a close second.
I'm happy to hear it. I'm glad this bizarre, like, 1999 Boiler Room Brawl, like, there was a lot to love of that, but especially, like we're saying, that kind of extra, something that Foley just made sure to put into it to make it extra memorable. So great.
I think as well, because that was our only appearance of the real Santa. Like, as many people dressed up as him during the night, that was the only time we saw real Santa. So that was nice as well.
And the respect that Mick had for him, we and the real Santa just kind of like scattered away, like he didn't want to get involved in this.
Yeah, he was out.
Yeah. Oh man, so good. I think for me, I think I normally would have gone for the main event, but I really loved that match, and I think gave it its flowers as the previous match of the week. So for me, like, after having seen that last week, the one that really jumped out to me as the most enjoyable thing of this night, for me, I think, was that Davey Boy Smith versus Bret Hart match. Because like we were saying, I think everyone gives the flowers to the Wembley match, which, no doubt, absolutely incredible match. But as like a follow-up and like doing it a little bit differently, as kind of like a sequel where you're just approaching it in a little bit of a different way, but still absolutely incredible. Like, I thought this really, really rocked. So for me, shockingly, I guess, my favorite thing was a WWF match tonight.
That also, just reminded me of your cheekiness on the night of Wrestling Club. When I was asking you during the night of, where can I find that Kabashi Hansen match? Like, because I'd seen that it was your match of the week, and so I'm like, that sounds like something I'm going to enjoy. Like, where can I find that? And he was like, there's some places online. You might be able to find it here or there. And then, like, 1 or 2 matches later, it's like, and our main event is Kabashi. I'm like, you knew all along.
I didn't want to spoil the surprise, Brad.
No, it was a delightful surprise that way. But just imagining the cheeky grin on your face as you hid the truth from me.
It did bring me a special joy to know that this match had like a special level of anticipation, from being the match of the week, and knowing that you hadn't actually seen it yet. So I was like, man, all right, doesn't get more perfect than this. Great.
Yeah.
I try to change it up a little bit, where sometimes we might have a bit of the match of the week stuff on these nights, sometimes not. Keep people guessing as much as possible. Man, I very much enjoyed it. Thank you so much for coming on the show and doing a little playlist debrief.
I know I'm not Joe, but I hope I did all right.
I think you did great. I think you did fantastic, and I think I'd like to think Joe is listening with a smile right now and being like, yeah, man, Brad killed it.
All right. Normally I've like rewatched matches and I have notes, so I can sort of collect my thoughts a bit better. So this sort of off the cuff one, I was like, oh, how much am I going to remember? It's like, not everything, but enough, I think.
Yeah, we just got to go off of hazy memories sometimes. I feel like for what it is, it works pretty well to just vaguely try to remember the night that was, and it's also helpful when I have the playlist in front of me. But even when I do, there's some stuff that I miss. So thank you for bringing back the stuff that I did.
All good.
I'll finish this up by also letting everyone know that. So I still need to work out when we have our first wrestling club event of 2026. I'll have to liaise with the scratch on that one. But on the good side, I think I can share some very special news here. At one of our previous wrestling clubs, I made mention we have a new concept coming for 2026, that being Cult Lucha, a Mexican wrestling monster movie screening series that we're looking to do next year. And I'm partnering with Andrew of Trash Video fame to put these things on. And I'm so happy to announce that we've actually had this bizarre concept supported by Netherworld. So Netherworld are actually going to be the home for these Mexican wrestling monster movie nights for 2026. And the first of them is going to be taking place on Sunday night, January 18th. So everyone who wants to come along to that, it'll be a free evening. I'll be there, and we get to just watch ridiculous B-grade Mexican wrestling monster movies together. So our first one will be on January 18th. Come one, come all.
All right, adding that to my calendar now.
I may or may not be wearing a full suit for this hot summer evening to be, the full stylish approach to this sort of like genre of cinema that I feel is suitable.
Yeah, you sort of let a couple of things drop to me on at Wrestling Club the other night that I'm very excited about. The suit being one of them, and then some of the ideas you've got for other things coming up. I'm like, oh, that all sounds super neat. It's like, as well as like just getting to watch these fun movies, just like some of the other stuff ideas you've got to go along with it. I'm like, ooh, this is even better.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to see how it goes. It's something different. I don't know anyone else that is screening black and white movies from the 60s involving Mexican wrestlers and monsters. But I'm happy for us to be bringing it to Brisbane. I'll be intrigued to see if we can find a following out of this, if we can see some of our regular wrestling club members there. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm also, obviously keen to try to keep Wrestling Club going. It's home of the Scratch as well. So looking to be a busy 2026, but I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, it should be great.
Alrighty, well, thanks so much, Brad. I'll let you get back to it, but I'll definitely look forward to having you back on the show at some point for another little match of the week.
Yeah, I'll be there for. Yeah, we'll tee it up sometime in the future. Yes, for sure.
All right. You just let me know what matches are speaking to you.
All right, I will.
All right, thanks, Brad.
All right, see you later, man.
Look, Kiwi's come out to try to get Ming off. And then look, the chair. He's holding on to both, but he's going to do something. Look at that chair.
That old guy's nuts.
Terry Funk. What does it take to drop this monster? About 6 chair shots, I guess.
That man's a maniac. What's he?
This is unreal, guys. Oh! He broke the steel chair over Ming's head.
That's not Santa Claus, ladies and gentlemen.
No, it's not. Welcome to the show. It's Terry Funk. He's back. Santa Funk is in the house. Look at the carnage in the ring. Look at the.
You want Santa Claus? Well, I am the real Santa Claus.
He's my idol.
You understand that? I am the real Santa Claus.
Look at the bodies littering the ring, and he's not done. He's not done on a fallen Kiwi. My God, he'll bust him out.
Ho. I'm going to give all you perverts out there a Christmas present.
Perverts.
I'm going to give you 11 hoes. All at one time. Ho, ho, ho. Ho, ho, ho.
Please.
Ho, ho, ho.
He's
ho,
lost it.
ho.
This guy's
That's
crazy.
11 hoes. Now, you idiot. I'm talking about you, Crowbar.
Oh, God. Wait a moment here.
Come on up in here. I've got you
Crowbar, be
a
smart.
very special
Be smart.
present.
Crowbar's
You'll
smart,
put the
Crowbar.
Hardcore
Be
Championship
smart.
on the line
You might want to take
Think
your
about
weight.
what
against
you're doing.
me at Starrcade.
Oh, a challenge from Terry Funk. And Crowbar said he's one of my
Your
idols.
ass up in the ring.
And he's going in the ring against this maniac in a Santa Claus
Special
suit.
present or not. Are you going to wrestle me at Starrcade?
Absolutely. If you want a shot, it would be my honor, Terry.
That's not fair.
Oh, man. No, that's not fair. He knocked him out. The Hardcore Champion is out. And Santa Claus is
He
coming
might
to
not
town.
make it to Starrcade. Where's the Brandon? Where's the Brandon?
I thought that was a particularly distasteful act, and I took it upon myself to
They
cut it
didn't
out.
see the Brandon.
I cut it out.
Do you want me to brand you?
No, I don't.
Jackass!
Oh. We'll be back with more
I just took
TNT.
it
Stay
out.
with us.
Where's it?
Oh my gosh, so good. Anyway, I think we're at that end point of the show. Thank you so much for indulging me for this amount of time. I, again, am so sorry about the terrible audio quality of my audio through a good amount of that chat with Brad. Much appreciated if you stuck it out. I don't know what was going on. I actually think it was because I was recording outside and it was a bit on the windy side. I'll know not to do that again. This bloody Brisbane summer weather. My apologies there. But I would like to thank you again so much for supporting the show, for listening to my long-winded nonsense. I hope you get something out of this. Hope you got a little few laughs there from this. Oh man. Anyway, I'd also like to say a big old thank you to the great team at Social Suplex for allowing me to do this podcast for now 98 episodes. Ridiculous. They are a great group of dudes. SocialSuplex.com is the home of the Social Suplex Podcasting Network, the home of this podcast and a bunch of other fun wrestling podcasts, from One Nation Radio to Keeping It Strong Style, the Trish and Sarah podcast, Tunnel Talk, All Things Elite, Im's WWE Adventure. They got a whole bunch of things, so give them a little gander if you feel like it. But yeah, thanks guys. If you would like to support the Chris Things, you can follow me on Instagram at Chris Things, where you'll see most of my things, including our match of the week illustration series at the end of every week. We also have the christhings.com.au. That is a place where you can go and you can buy the things. You can buy yourself a little bit of artwork. You can buy yourself a fancy art print. You can buy yourself the new 2026 Chris Things Los Luchadores versus Alien Invaders calendar. And t-shirts, what have you. It's also the place where you can keep up with my 2026 events. We have an events page on there as well. But yeah, christhings.com.au, the place to go for the Chris Things. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate you, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Until I speak to you next week, this has been Wrestling Art with Chris Things. Enjoy!
Well, Mr. Funk, back here in the...
You know, I never met a Yankee that wasn't a pig-eyed, pig-nosed airhead.
Mr. Funk, I don't know anyone in professional wrestling that has an attitude like you. I don't know a single soul that has an attitude quite like yours. Alfred,
because I'm middle-aged and crazy like a fox. Is there anything wrong with that attitude?
Well, you have
Mr. Hayes?
You have no dignity.
You jackass.
It's our happy holiday sale with free gifts for you. Buy any color TV in our store and get this GE Clock radio free. Remote color TVs on sale. RCA 19-inch remote color TV, $297. 13-inch remote color TV, $197. Zenith 25-inch remote color TV, $397. GE 25-inch remote stereo color television, $497. Now that's Tom Peterson's The Happy Place to buy. It's worth the trip.